Hello, this is another video that I put in for Health Answers. And if you're watching this one is on cancer breakthroughs. Hasn't been a lot of that recently. And sometimes it's being dismissed as we don't really know the cause of it. However, some research recently has found a really good cause of a lot of cancers. And so I'm going to share that with you, along with some other things. So far, I'm a cancer survivor. I'll tell you about that in a moment. But I want to tell you a little story about what we need to do is ask some questions, do some research about cancer. There was a little boy, he was 6 years old. And he and his dad were on the back porch, kind of like I am right now on the back porch. And the little boy was asking his dad. He says, "Dad, how does green grass grow?" His dad said, "Well, I don't know, son." And then he said, well, Dad, how do we get blue sky?" Dad said, "Well, you know what, son, I don't really know." So the boy said, "Well, what causes rain?" Well, Dad could probably give him a little small answer, but he just really said, "You know what, I don't really know the true cause of rain." The little boy, 6 years old, as little boys are, they ask why and all this kind of thing, and lots of questions. He said, after a pause, he said, "Dad, you don't mind me asking questions, do you?" And his dad said, "No. How else are you going to learn anything?" Well, sometimes we can ask questions to the wrong people and not learn anything, can't we? But we need to ask questions. And one of the things I want to share with you today is we in the past have just considered the cause of cancer as primarily two things. Oh, yeah, some have probably put in maybe a little bit on diet, a little bit of some of the things you've eaten, whatever, that kind of thing. But mainly people will talk about it's hereditary or it's environment. Well, I want to tell you about one that truly is environment. And it has nothing to do with climate change, global warming. You can believe in it if you want. I don't care. I'm not trying to say you shouldn't or should. But I'm just trying to tell you that this is a different aspect of the environment. What we think is most people hear lung cancer when they think of it as cigarettes. Well, that can be the cause sometimes of lung cancer. Not all cancer, of course, but lung cancer. There is another risk that's a number one factor, more than cigarettes, even for lung cancer. What is that? It's radon, R-A-D-O-N, not radian, not going out and getting your x-rays or that kind of radiation rather. It's radon, R-A-D-O-N. Now, it doesn't get as much attention as it deserves. And just recently, it was found out it was the leading cause of lung cancer in non-smokers. Non-smokers. Counts for about 21,000 deaths of this disease each and every year. Not smoking, because they're non-smokers. Now, I've never smoked in my life. I don't drink, never have. Some of you do, and that's okay. It's up to you. You make your choices. I'm not trying to get into that. I'm just trying to help you live longer if we can. But when you think about radon caused 21,000 deaths a year for lung cancer. Not sure what else cancer it caused, but this is in non-smokers. So radon occurs naturally wherever uranium is. It's an element found in rocks and soil that decays. As an element breaks down over time, it releases radon gas, and it can be found outdoors. But usually outdoors, it's fairly much harmless amounts. It's when it accumulates in homes and buildings because of construction, or on the soil that houses or buildings are constructed, and is trapped inside buildings. It's an insidious threat because it's cancer causing, and it cannot be seen, can't be tasted, can't be smelled, but it can be tested. Thousands of lung cancer deaths would be avoided each year if homes and building owners would get theirs tested, according to the American Lung Association. It's not just me talking. It's an association that's done a lot of testing. Well, there's some myths about cancer, and I want to share 5 of them real quick, and then get into a little bit more. First of all, radon, R-A-D-O-N, is a concern only in certain parts of the country. It's not true. It exists in higher concentrations near uranium-dense rock deposits, but it can be found anywhere. So if your home is near, or you've never had it tested, or it was built on some kind of reserves or whatever, you better have your home tested. In total, nearly 1 in every 15 homes in the U.S. is estimated to have radon levels that exceed the EPA recommendation. My wife and I built a home years ago. My wife passed away a few years back. I sold my home. It was just way too big for me and too expensive for whatever. But I had mine tested, and it was safe for a while. But I moved to an apartment, and I stayed in the apartment for 2 years, and I developed cancer. Now, was it radon? I don't know. But these apartments were never tested. It was built on some rock foundations. I have my suspicion that's where my pancreatic cancer came from, not lung cancer. I'll tell you more about that one in a moment. I want to give you a little bit more on pancreatic cancer as well as I get into this video. But EPM has matched the country into 3 zones where the highest level of this radon gas is found. Go to EPA, look it up yourself. Second myth, if you lived in your home for decades, you probably said there's no need to test. That's not true. Myth number 3, if you have a brand new home, there's nothing to worry about. Well, that's not true either. Don't know where it was built. All the background. Fourth myth, testing is too expensive and time consuming. I don't want to do it. You can buy a basic home test for under $15. That's what I did a few years back on my home. Many hardware stores. Some states even provide them free. Could probably get it when you bought your new home. Say, hey, I want a new test. They'll probably give it to you free. The 5th myth is if I test my home and levels are too high, I won't be able to sell it later. Well, it might delay selling, there's no question. And if it's a routine part of home inspection, which it is in many states before you sell a home, you probably could hold up selling it for a while. But there's remedies. And it can be a little more costly than that $15 I talked about. But you can have the system of your home pipe vented and a fan to pull radon outside for anywhere from $800 to $2,000. Now, that's not cheap for a lot of people, but if you want to sell your home and that's preventing you selling it, boy, that may be what you have to do. Enough for radon. Remember I told you, radon gas is one of the main causes of cancer. It is an environmental cause. But it's not like in the air. It's from a cause from the soil and the rock formations. Now, let me tell you that yogurt and fiber are linked to lower lung cancer risks. So, contrary to talking about cancer risks of lung disease, if you eat yogurt and have a lot of fiber in your diet, you can reduce your lung cancer risk by 33% because of the high fiber diets. And frequently, head to toe exams are one of the best ways to detect skin cancer. Get in front of a mirror and just check all of your body. Obviously not with your clothes on, and I don't want to get into that, but that's how you do it. So you need to just test those, and that can be for lung and cancer, lung and skin cancer. There's often areas of skin cancer that are often looked in your hands and your scalp, underneath your eyebrows, eyelids, under your arms, all these things. And your sore throat can be linked to cancer. Breast cancer, lung cancer, kidney cancer, and melanoma are main types of cancer that invade the brain. So if you have or know of people who have brain cancer, astonishing 20 to 30% of people with brain cancer develop these from a spread of other organs that have cancer, or from lung or whatever, and they finally get into the brain. I just lost a friend who had lung cancer. He was an older fellow, but lost it. His wife I pray for, and now she has her oldest daughter who has brain cancer, who I do pray for as well. And the treatment can be exhaustive, but there are treatments. And it talks about getting into the immune therapy. And while I'm not a doctor by any means, if you've watched any of my videos, you know I clearly tell you. I just do research and try to tell you what you should look for and do some research yourself. Not to go out and buy things that I'm telling you to or whatever, because I'm trying not to tell you to do anything other than do research and things to watch out for. So there are immune systems, and you need to find out immune therapy. And with this corona disease, or virus, whatever you want to call it, it attacks your immune system. It can finally probably spread to brain cancer or other things as well that we haven't heard about. And they're now talking about things that you can do. And I've had a video recently that I told you all about this. I just want to mention them real quick again. It can help your immune system. Now, there are other things that you need to go back and find that video as well. But here are some real quick ones. Zinc is one of the big helps. Vitamin E, D3, those are the three biggest. But also vitamin B complex is one. All of these can help your immune system. So you need to treat the primary cause of cancer. And this can be by going to your oncologist. And I'm under treatment for pancreatic cancer. And my oncologist was involved in my treatment. I had a diagnosis because of some weight loss. Now, you can find out different kinds of cancer because of different symptoms you have, and you need to watch out for them. One of the things that I had was pancreatic cancer, one of the worst, they say. And the symptoms that you develop usually are abdominal or back pain, nausea, jaundice, and sometimes only 15% of chance it can be removed. Well, I had none of those symptoms. I had the other symptom, weight loss. I lost 60 pounds. And they said, you need to do the Whipple. That's taking part of my liver, part of my pancreas, tie them to the system that takes the food that I eat and digests it. And they took part of it out, put them back together. And then I went through 10 bouts of chemo over a period of 21 weeks. My oncologist, when it was all over, and I've gone back to him, see, it's been a little over 6 months since my last chemo. And they marveled at how well I've done and how little of a problem I had with chemo. And they said they gave me a monstrous, I don't know if that's the right word, but a bout of chemo. I didn't even lose my hair. And I had really no side effects. Yeah, okay, I was tired. And now I'm starting to gain my weight back. I've gained 15 pounds of the weight I've lost. Starting to look a little bit better, maybe. But my oncologist marveled at the way I did it. And one of the factors that I attributed that to is the vitamins and the research that I've done over the years. And so, while you may be really young when you listen to this, get into a vitamin regimen. Find out how you can prevent some of these things in your older age. If you're already 75 or older, you still can get help with vitamins and other things, and some of the things that I tell you on this system. But do your research. Don't just take my word for it. I'm going to make sure you do that. Some of the doctors you go to, they don't really have any knowledge of vitamins. Some of them do. Find some that do. Find some of them that talk about things that you can do. But your diet is really important. From the age of 40 to the age of probably late 60s, I ate no red meat, no eggs, no sugar, no salt. Now, I wasn't a vegetarian because I did eat turkey, and I did eat meat, chicken, and fish. But that diet over the years has really helped me. But unfortunately, when my wife passed away, I started eating red meat and some eggs and things like this. And did that contribute to my pancreatic cancer? Maybe. But I really think that, as I just said earlier, that radon in the apartment place that I was living for 2 years was the cause. My wife and I built a 5,500 square foot home on 1 1/3 acres, really big one. And after I lost her to cancer, I was paying for 100% of this home. And it was $15,000 a year for just property insurance. And I was only living in less than 1/8, certainly less than 1/4, but probably 1/8 of the home. I just had to get rid of it. So that's why I moved into an apartment. Maybe that was the risk factor that I didn't or could not avoid. But I've never smoked, never drank, Certainly never drank Cavalier Black because I never drank. For years, didn't eat all those other foods. And so my risk may have been totally right on. It may have been just some other things that I don't know about. Or maybe, finally, when I started eating some of these other things, it caught up with me in those 2 years or 3 years that I started eating them. I don't know. But anyway, you need to battle cancer at 65 or over and make sure you go to an oncologist and find out and have him help you as mine did. And now they've said, I think he said a couple of different times that I was his test case, and that I was really one that just came out of it without any problem. Now, those who have pancreatic cancer, they have said through history, and probably it's going to be, these rates are going to increase, 15% survive for a period of 5 years or longer. I have an uncle who was best man. He's 90. He had the same disease in pancreatic, and he had the same Whipple disease 5.5 years ago. He's still living. So, because I've come through it so well, I think that I'm going to do the same. But it's because of the other things that I've done. Take some guidance, some heed in this video. Going out and do some surveying on your own. Think about some of the prevention that you can do. You can't wait till you've got it. But if you have it now, do some things to help control it. Look into it. Go to some people that know it. Watch a few more videos. And I'm going to put some more on. Try to help you. That's the only thing I put these videos on. I don't benefit from them other than to know that you who are watching these can live longer and live healthier. Thanks for watching. Like me on my Facebook page and go to my video on YouTube sometimes. And subscribe to my video channel too. I have all kinds there on it. Thank you very much.